Want to know the real reason why most producers and songwriters never make it? It's not talent, it's not the gear, it's definitely not the luck. It's the instincts. And after 15 years doing music professionally and landing songs with some of the biggest Billboard artists, I realized it's the little split-second decisions that can completely change the outcome of any situation. So today I'm breaking down the 6 unspoken instincts that separate pros from everyone else and how you can start building them yourself. Because once you develop these instincts, you stop being just another creative and you start being the person everyone wants in the room. All right, let's get into it. Instinct number 1, which is know how to read the room. Pros don't just sit in front of their laptops, they're constantly scanning the room for information. They know how to read people, sense the vibe, and ultimately adjust. They know when the vocalist needs a different key, when the producer needs space to experiment, or when the whole room just needs to take a break. And it's not about being bossy, it's about unlocking everyone else's best work. And sometimes that means saying the right thing at the right time to help a singer unlock an emotional performance. Other times it's knowing when you need to chill out and maybe reset your own headspace. Just know that reading the room is the difference between forcing a song into existence and pulling out magic that's already there. On to instinct number 2, which is knowing what the song needs. This is where amateurs overthink and the pros get very surgical. They don't ask, what do I want? Instead, they ask, what does the song want? They ask questions like, do we need to go back to songwriting and fix a lyric or melody? Do we need to push a boundary and do something out of the box with the production? Do we need to experiment with a different process or a way of creating? Should the vocals be performed loud or soft? And how many layers do we need to give the proper vibe and emotion? Every decision flows from the song itself, and that's why pros can strip away ego and let the music guide the process. Which takes us to instinct number 3, which is knowing how to allocate time. Now, here's the truth most people don't like. Not everything needs to be perfect. The pros know how to spend their energy, and sometimes good enough gets you moving faster. Whether that's rough mixes, quick demos, or placeholders, the pros don't waste hours polishing things that don't matter. But when it does matter, when it's like the final mix, the pitch to an artist or label, or the version that's gonna go public, they'll put in the hours, the grind, and obsess over every little detail. So the bottom line is the amateurs treat everything the same, but the pros know when to sprint and when to marathon. Then we get into instinct number 4, which is to know how to adapt under pressure. Because the reality is things go wrong in music all the time. The computer crashes, the artist loses steam, the studio vibe dies. Whatever it is, the non-pros panic, but the pros, they're resourceful. They adapt and they pivot fast. If they forget their guitar, they'll find a way to make the piano work. If the vibe is off, they'll pull out a half-finished idea from years ago and suddenly the room comes alive. This isn't just about the technical skills, it's about having the mental flexibility to see obstacles as opportunities. And speaking of opportunities, instinct number 5, which is to know how to be opportunistic. And I don't mean this in a shady way. Listen, the music is full of doors and most of them are closed, but the pros know how to recognize when one opens and how to step through it without blowing it. Let's say an artist passes on your song. A pro repackages it with a different top line and repitches it. Let's say you're in a room with someone who could change your career. A pro knows how to make a genuine connection without being thirsty. They leverage relationships, skills, environments, and even money at the right time in the right way. The non-pros wait for the luck, but the pros, they create it. And moving on to instinct number 6, which is to know how to play the game. This is the part that nobody likes to talk about, which are the politics. Now, music isn't just art. Unfortunately, it is a business. So knowing your role, whether you're a producer, the songwriter, or the artist, is half the battle. On top of that, you've got to know when to push, when to fall back, and when to swallow your ego for a bigger play down the line. For example, you might be taking less publishing on one project if it means building a long-term relationship with a major artist. The non-pros think about the short-term check. The pros, they think about the long-term game. So the big question is, how do you develop these instincts if you're not there yet? On the creative side, you can work with people at or above your level, watch how they operate. You can listen to music like a scientist and ask yourself why it works. You can start cataloging ideas, keep a list of running sounds, references, and tracks that you can pull from when the session stalls. And on the career side, study the paths of successful people. What plays did they make? What relationships did they invest in? Surround yourself with business-minded people. Remember, this is the music industry. If you don't understand it, you're leaving money and opportunities on the table. Now, here's my question to you. Which of the 6 instincts do you need to develop the most right now? Drop it in the comments because awareness is step 1. And if you want to go deeper and actually learn these instincts hands-on with me, check out the description below. Remember, don't just make music, learn to move like a pro. I'll see you in the next session.